You guys struggling to catch fish on the Kissimmee chain in this hot water during the dog days? I'm gonna show you how I catch fish next. Stick around. There we go, first one. I don't know how big he is. That one's pretty big. There we go. Nice fish. So I'm out by myself today. Just messing around, trying some new techniques, new places, new baits, whatever. And first fish of the day on a jerk bait. I saw some shad moving around up here and cast to them. And this one has been feeding up, so good fish. I'll stick around. Fish number 2, that's a little guy. And number 3. And it's another big fish. I think it's a fish. He's been cruising down this grass line. That's a nice keeper. Throwing its 100 series jerk bait. Got some shad. Flickering this morning. Came through them. Not a lot of success. And I came back through them again and little guy, 4. Oh, there's another one with a bigger one behind him. Oh, there's 3 of them behind him trying to take it. Come on, hit it again. See if I can double up here. Nope. Well, that's fish number 5. No size to him. Number 5. Morning, guys. Yep, it's just a random Thursday in July. It's hot. 80 degrees this morning at daylight. Water temps are 85, 86 right now. We're going to 97 forecast today. We finally got a few clouds popping around, but it's not going to be much. It's just going to be brutal. Fortunately, I got a little bit of wind. But in July, typically, it gets really tough to catch fish, at least decent fish, on a Kissimmee chain, unless you follow a few simple, basic rules. And that is, well, the first one, and the most obvious one, is you got to find the bait. Now, for the last 6 weeks, the shad have been spawning, and they're really easy to find if you do the work. How I do it is I'll get on the water before sunrise, and I'm idling out on the lake just as the sun is starting to peek over, and you can see these balls of shad flipping, and they're in the middle of the lake. They're in these deep water canals. They're up along the grass lines. All you need for shad is open water. Close to some vegetation helps. It doesn't have to be emergent vegetation. It could be submerged grass. And then just a lot of patience. You have to do the work. There's 30 miles of these canals in the Kissimmee chain, and you can do this just about anywhere. You can do it in any of the Central Florida lakes, but all you have to do is find the shad. Okay, step 2, once you've found the bait balls, and like I said, they could be outside the grass line, they could be out in the middle of the lake holding over submergent grass, they could be along a shell bar. There are thousands of places to do this exact technique in Central Florida, in pretty much any lake. And here's how I attack it. I'm using 4 baits. The first bait, which I tried to make them eat it this morning, but there was no takers, is topwater. And you know exactly why I was trying to make them eat it, because it's a lot of fun. I was throwing it in and around the shad balls. I was throwing it along the grass line edges, hoping to get a random bite and maybe pick up a good pattern. But right now, at least this morning, they're not eating topwater, but any kind of white-ish, silver-ish topwater is going to work. This is a 6 cents Dogma. I'll use the 13 Fishing one knockers. I'll use a Berkeley spin rocket. It doesn't really matter as long as it's got some white or some white on the bottom with silver. Bait number 1. Bait number 2, and it's basically 2 baits with a little bit of a different purpose. So what I've got here on this rod is a Strike King 100 size. It's the KVD 100 in Sexy Ghost Shad, and the key is the whiter or clear bottom with the yellow stripe and then a bronzish top, because that's what our shad look like at the moment. So this one I throw first. It's going to run a lot shallower. It's going to go from about 1 to 4 max. If they're not that high in the water column, typically your bass are going to be under your shad, and if you need to get through them, I've got the 200, same color. And as the season wears on here for the next few weeks, I may go up to the 300 because the shad are changing sizes. And I caught fish on both sizes this morning. And on this bigger bait, I had a double. They got off right before I got them to the boat, but there was 3 fish coming to the boat with this bait, trying to take it away from the one that got it first. 100 size, 200 size, and as you get closer to August, as these shad grow up, I may go to a 300 size. That's bait number 2 and 3. Bait number 4 is once you find the shad and you find fish around the shad, they're not going to be active, or they're not going to be actively chasing bait all day long, but they'll stay in the same area. And so what you do once the bite slows down, they may come up schooling, pushing shad, and you catch a few and then they go away. That's when I'll try the deeper jerk bait to maybe get down a little lower. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to throw a really slow moving trick worm, Cinco, something that is just enticing to the bass. And for some reason, this black grape, good old school color, probably 30 years old, is deadly in the Kissimmee chain. At anything dark, small profile, the secret is you cast it and you let it sit. This is not a moving bait. This is a dead still bait, and typically you don't feel a bite. It's just going to be, the line's going to get heavy or it's going to swim off and you're going to get bit. Sometimes you'll feel it when the little ones are getting it, but when you get a big fish on, you hardly ever feel a bite. The other secret is to the jerk bait, and I'm going to show you it right now, is the cadence. Most people fish a jerk bait very fast, and that works great in the fall. But during this time of year, what you're going to do is you're going to cast, you're going to reel it down quick to get it to its max depth, and then it's pause. And then it's jerk, jerk, pause. And they almost always will hit it on the pause. If you just reel it in constant, like you would in a wintertime bite, you're not going to get bit. Jerk, jerk, pause, and wait. You can fish it out through the middle of the school of shad. You can fish it down a grass line. You can fish it over top of a shell bar. That's all there is to it. Well, these fish have slowed down. There's still a few on the graph, but they're not biting. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about this shad style fishing on a Kissimmee chain, and that's this. I have heard from, it must be hundreds of people over the years, that, well, if there's a bunch of gar around, you can't catch bass. And I'm here to tell you that's absolutely false. One thing that I have noticed and learned over the years is when you're running in the morning and you see gar flipping, stop and watch them. I found this particular spot, and everybody knows where it is on the Kissimmee chain if you've ever fished it. And if you don't, I'll give it to you. Send me an email. But I found this spot because I was running the Toho one morning early, and there was a bunch of gar flipping here, and I marked it and decided I was going to come back and investigate. And here's what I do know about gar, is that they will circle bait or structure. So if you see gar and they're basically circling an area, and in this one they're running back and forth, and what they're doing is they feed a lot like dolphins do in saltwater. They're going to circle bait, ball it up, and then they'll dart in and eat. So if you see gar, stop and pay attention to what they're doing. Mark that spot. It's either structure or it's bait. I'm going to be fishing a very similar style to this for the next few months, and I'm certain that you guys don't want to see the same video over and over again. So what I need from you is tell me what you want to see. Do you want to see electronics explained? I had somebody ask me to do a video about that. Basic electronics, advanced electronics with the live and the 360. Do you want to see different lakes? Do you want me to fish and break down some tournament lakes for you guys for next season? I'll do whatever. I mean, I can come out here every day and catch fish one way or another, but you know, you guys don't want to see the same video. So tell me what you want to see. Put it in the comments below. If you aren't a subscriber, I don't know why, but go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Share this video with your friends, or wait till your tournament and then share it with your friends after the tournament, after you beat them. So remember guys, this is your channel. Tell me what you want to see. Now, if this is your first video on this channel, watch this video next to find out more about fishing the Kissimmee chain. And as always guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.